Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM, brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, and it's time for casual conversation with the man to my left here on this beautiful Saturday morning. Not only is the co-host once a month on the third Saturday, but we have shared the duck blind together. We've shared. I haven't been asked to ride in his new truck. It's. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know what the cab rates are on that, but that's a real my friend. I can say that of Frank Barton, Mid-South businessman, semi-retired, but has just returned, as we told you earlier in the show. If you missed it, Frank's been in Idaho. So, Frank, tell our listeners out there what happened in Idaho and why were you out there?
Well, I was out there for the Master National Retriever Club's annual event. It moves around the country from location to location.
And why were you there?
This year was in Idaho. Well, I was there for two reasons. One, I am the event secretary, which means
you're the dog counter.
I count the dogs. I count the passes that they accumulated during the year to qualify for the event.
Okay.
But this year I was also there as an event participant.
Now, have you done that before?
It's the last time that I ran a dog in the Master National was in 2005.
Wow. Okay, so this time the magic worked. You are retired, really. You have had more time to work, right? You've been working over around when, we can say, somewhere around that area. I'm not going to, am I giving away secrets here or anything like that, am I? But you've been working, and I've
been able to go in
places you hadn't been able to go before.
To qualify for the Master National, you have to qualify at six different.
Okay.
Six.
I was thinking it was five. Six
weekend events.
Okay.
And my business schedule
was tough.
Didn't really let me want to. Made it difficult to do weekend events, but I don't have to worry about that now. So I was able to do weekend events, and fortunate that I've got a dog that I've got a couple of dogs. I got one that was able to get qualified for this year. Had another one that might have been able to get qualified for this year, but we had puppies instead.
Goose now.
So we couldn't do that. So
what happened to Goose out there? What did Goose do in Idaho?
Goose was a good dog in Idaho. He did all the tests made the judges satisfied with his performance
to meet the qualifications,
and in a hunt test you either pass or you fail. It's like a pass-fail course in college. So you pass the test or you don't, and Goose passed the test. 1,115 dogs went out there. 658 my Goose was one of those.
Goose was one of those, and by pass the test, what goes on?
Okay.
To my layman out there.
Right. At the master level, you do. You're expected to pick up three in a marking series, three different marks. And a couple of blinds.
Yeah.
And then you have to honor another dog, and that's just one series.
That's one series.
The Master National will be anywhere from 4 to 6 series, depending on how long the tests go and what they're able to do. This year we did 4.
Did 4?
We had some COVID related issues once we got out there, and so we had to we didn't cut the event short. We started the event a little bit later, a day later, and so that entered into it. But he was a good dog. It's the best way I know it. He was a very good boy, and did everything that I expected him to be able to do.
What makes him do? What's special about Goose? I mean, Goose, as you said, is about, what did you say, 3.5 years old?
Yeah, Goose is 3.5, and the average age this year was 5 years 11 months.
So he's a puppy.
So he was considerably younger than the average out there. Goose,
does he listen well?
He gives good effort.
There you go.
He doesn't. He knows what he's supposed to do. He doesn't always do it.
Yes,
but he tries to all the time. So that's the good thing. He gives good effort and works with me. There was a couple of. There was one series they did a double blind, which is for a blind retrieve is. We, the handler, know where the bird is. The dog doesn't. But the dog doesn't know where the bird is, and so the dog has to take direction from the handler.
A double.
So there were two of them in one test, and I've been doing this for 18 years, and I told people it's the most difficult double blind that I've seen at a Master National.
And he did it
on land in 18 years.
And he did it.
And he did it, and a lot of dogs. This was in a land blind. Generally, a land blind, it only is difficult for the weaker handling dogs.
Yeah.
This particular, both these land blinds were difficult for a good handling dog.
A good handling dog. So
one of the things you had to learn, to run in sagebrush. We'd never been in. We don't even know what sagebrush is.
No, not
sagebrush is a little different animal.
So a lot of different things. The altitude was different, things like that.
We were at 5,000 feet.
Yeah, and so how long have you had Goose?
I've had Goose for a year.
For a year, okay. I keep thinking of Gus.
Yeah,
Gus was your dog.
Every now and then, Gus comes out instead of Goose.
Yeah, it almost came out for me right there because
I
know how much Gus meant to you.
Yeah,
but Goose in a year's time. So now, does this automatically? What happens next?
Well, he got with that pass, he gets credit for 2 passes. We still have to, we still have 4 more to do. You still have to get 6.
Okay.
And you have to. So we got 4 more to do between now and August 1 of next year.
Of next year.
So we got, I think, 3 or 4 more weekends that we're going to run this fall before duck season starts.
Yeah. I hope so.
And then we'll do what they really like to do and what we have them for, and that's
sit around the house.
They'll be duck hunting.
They'll be duck hunting. So Goose goes from that. But talking to Frank Barton here about Goose and the Master National, he's brought the big book. He gave me a copy of the big book that's got pages after pages and dogs after dogs. So what did this mean to you, Frank?
Well, it was a really emotional moment because it's been so long since and the only other dog that I have qualified at the event wasn't even my dog.
Okay.
I handled it for a friend who had to leave the event early. So,
but this was your dog.
But this was my dog. So it was a real special and to be around all my friends that were there that. A lot of folks I only see in this 2-week period of the year.
Yeah.
And so they knew what it meant to me. It was funny when we were doing the awards. My job, in addition to I do the awards. I read out who qualified for our group.
You're the announcer.
I'm the announcer.
Yeah.
I do it on the radio.
Yeah.
So I had to read out my own name. I kept waiting. I thought, well, maybe somebody's going to come up and fill in for me. I looked around and I said, I'm the only one that's got a book. I'm the only one that knows what's going on.
And you announced your own name.
I got to it and I said, dog 111, SRR's Trigger Time, Talk to Me Goose. I got owner Frank Barton, and that's as far as I got. I couldn't get the handler Frank Barton, and I choked up. I couldn't do any more. I did a mic drop, and I just walked around and went through the receiving line. And,
did you really?
And everything had to stop for me to do that because nobody else was reading names.
Well,
so
that was cool.
That was
cool. Do you
have and a big shout out. We got another Mid-Southerner, David Carrington.
David,
who was there, and. David had passed both of his dogs.
Okay.
That were there. So
congratulations, David.
Another amateur trainer. And that's another thing. The event is very pro-dominated. Yeah. Nothing wrong with pros. They're wonderful, and they're great advice for us, for us amateurs to go to.
Yeah.
But not many amateurs pass the event.
That's true.
So David did, and Frank did, and
that's
it's a good
pretty
time.
Good.
So we go to Washington State next year.
Oh, come on!
And the fun thing is, it's only an hour further from me.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
From by location, it's only an hour.
I thought they rotated that.
It is, but we were in Region 3, which was the mountain, the western side.
So
the
now
central
you're going
time zone,
to the west
and,
side.
and now we're going to the Pacific time zone, and then in 23 we'll be back somewhere on the East Coast. I think we're going to be in Georgia.
So you were 5,262 miles, 0.3. Don't forget that 0.3, as Frank Barton and Goose. And what's Goose? That's his call name. So what's the full name of Goose?
SRR Trigger Time Talk to Me Goose.
Talk to Me Goose. Now, did you get the name of the dog?
No, that name was already.
That name was
Goose
already
that name was already taken.
I love Goose is a great name, and again, congratulations, Frank. We're gonna put this on LROutdoors.com. Guy Trebill's going to get that with Frank's picture, and we'll make a picture of me with Frank and get sure, because I'm just so proud of him. And I could tell when it came in Saturday, I was down from a football loss for my team, and I get this smiling Frank and Goose. I think Goose was smiling too. But hey, let me tell you about next week's show. We're going to be talking about Nomad Clothing. Gary Mason's going to be back on talking about the 2022 Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame. And we're going to talk to Jim Ferguson of The Revolution. He is the #1 outdoor radio program in the United States with over 200 stations. And Jim got first and second in the Southeastern Outdoor Press Association. Poor little old Larry Ray got third.
If it hadn't been for him.
Oh, that's always going to be that way, buddy. I can tell you that. It's going to be that way. And we're working on a real surprise guest. You won't want to miss it on Outdoors with Larry. Shelby McCall, thank you for taking care of us. Frank Barton, again, man, congratulations. I can't wait to see what's ahead for you.
Thank you, Larry.
It's going to be and to think maybe I can duck hunt with Goose sometime, and he'll sign an autograph. He put his print right there on my license or something. Then, so all right, got to get out of here. Remember, it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And what else, Frank? God bless the USA.